Hey! Before we begin, can we all agree that this fight is annoying and that guy is a piece of shit? Not because he's too hard. I truly believe this is a fair fight if you have the right tools. But I do believe his phase 2 is the most annoying in the whole game. I think I just might have what you need in order to make this fight significantly easier with almost no effort. So what do you need? First, 2 shields. I'm going to explain why you need 2 shields instead of 1. But you can still do it. This strat can still work even if you have 1 shield. But it's just going to be a little bit, just a tiny bit difficult. Just a little bit. So, the first shield that you need is the one you get from Mall. It's called Verdigris Greatshield, and fully upgraded, this shield can provide you with 90 guard boost. Now, if you don't know what guard boost means, basically, whenever you tank an attack, you're only going to take 10% of that stamina damage, not the actual damage to your health. No, stamina damage. And I want you to consider stamina endurance as a resource which is even more important than your health, because as long as you have stamina, you always be able to tank the next hit, unless it has to do with magic, in which case you better off just dodging or parrying the attack. So it gives you 100% of physical damage negation, which is great. It means that as long as the attack is a physical one and you have the stamina, you will always tank the attack and take no damage at all. It's very important you won't take any damage, and because you have 90 or 89 guard boost, your damage, your stamina won't be that much, allowing you to counter even more attacks, which is great. The other shield I want you to consider is I think it's not sacred, it's just a black steel great shield, and I think you get it by fighting a boss in this area, in the 4 Great Fort. You're going to fight a boss over there and he's going to drop the shield. And when it comes to the other shield, the Verdigris, you get it from Mo. Very kind Mo. I don't suggest killing him early on because he's a good guy. The black steel great shield gives you 100% damage negation, but more importantly, I think, unless I'm mistaken, which I probably am, this gives you the highest holy damage negation in the game. Knowing that, I think you are sitting at 84% of holy damage negation. The guard boost isn't crazy because you're still going to take 30% of that stamina damage. It is quite bad, which is why on my stats I tend to just go crazy with the stamina as opposed to trying to go crazy with my health, because health is not as important. It is all about stamina with this build. Initially, this shield gave me 84% of holy damage negation, but I found a way to boost it all the way to 100% holy damage negation. Now, you need to understand something about Radahnn's second phase. Most of his attacks are going to be imbued with holy damage, so being able to just block all those attacks and not take damage. Yeah, you heard me. With this shield, you're going to be able to tank every single holy attack he performs and take no damage at all. Yes, this includes the big area attacks he can pull whenever he feels threatened. You don't even have to parry the move, just raise your shield and you will take no damage. It even includes that big radio attack he can pull full screen. Every single beam of light can be tanked using this build. So how do you make this shield even better? Well, I decided to go with the Holy Ground Ash of War, which gives me 100% of damage negation, which is awesome. You're going to sacrifice some guard boost, and honestly, for me, I think the trade-off is worth it. Being able to fully counter his holy damage is better, and also there's something great about being able to just use this Ash of War mid-fight, and this heals a lot. This is very substantial, and whenever you are blocking in this area, you're always going to be able to recover most of your health. So being able to tank those attacks and being able to recover the chip damage back using Holy Ground is awesome. Here's the thing about this build. You don't have to buff yourself for 40 seconds only to die in the first 5. When it comes to the weapon, you should use... Personally, I prefer using the Reduvia for 2 reasons. First, Bleed. Bleed is awesome in this game and Bleed is great against this boss. But the other reason why, which is even more important than Bleed, the reason why I chose the Reduvia is because it is a fast, very fast hitting weapon. So fast that it allows me to punish Radahn in situations where I wouldn't normally be able to punish him. You know, you swing and you're able to dodge the follow-up attack, which is awesome. Sometimes you will miss, you know, the punish, especially when you dodge and hit him like that. I don't know why, but it tends to whiff 50% of the time. I don't know why it does like that. Maybe it's because the weapon is on the short size, but you know what they say about sizes? It's all about the way you use them. Now, I think you have everything you need to defeat the boss, and the only thing missing is the physics you're going to use. Now, because I don't invest that much into health, because I think health is highly unnecessary for this fight because you already have all those things going for you, I tend to go for the Crimson, I think it's this one, the Crimson Burst Crystal Tier. Steadily restore HP for time. I think it lasts 3 minutes, which is more than enough, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. The other one I'm using is the deflecting Hardtear, which is by far the best tier in the whole game. It just makes every single fight a walk in the park. I mean, it's not that easy, but it's significantly easier to play the game with this tier. When it comes to the talisman we're going to be using, I usually go for the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia first because the Reduvia is a fast hitting weapon, so you will almost always being able to trigger this effect, greatly increasing your attack power. And like I said before, stamina is a resource which is more important than health, so being able to recover that health as fast as possible is great, which is why I'm using the 2-headed turtle talisman. Because there's going to be a lot of bleed thanks to Reduvia, because there's going to be plenty of bleed procs thanks to the Reduvia, I'm using the Lot of Blood sex hesitation. It's sex hesitation. Yeah. And last but not least, the Curved Sword Talisman. Now, I never used this talisman in the main game because the shields were doo-doo. I mean, they weren't completely bad, but now I can't live without it. It enhances guard counters, and you're going to be blocking almost all the time, blocking or parrying almost all the time, which means that now you'll be able to do a lot of damage whenever you counter attack. And sometimes you can even break the boss's stance quite fast if you're able to perform multiple guard counters in a short time. This allowed me to once defeat Radahn before he even performs his meteor attack. Guard counters are really good in this game right now, and you should definitely take advantage of that. So this is the build I'm using. Let's see how it works in practice.